Welcome to the Masterful Coach Podcast. I'm your host, Molly Claire, and I'm here to help you master your coaching skills so you can become the confident, effective, and transformative guide your clients and your team are craving. Whether you're a coach, a high-level leader, or an ambitious go-getter ready to transform your own life, you're in the right place. On this podcast, we dive deep into the skills, mindset, and strategies that make the biggest difference when it comes to your coaching, your business, and your impact. And we do all of it while making sure that you're building a life and business that truly fits you. Let's go ahead and get started with this week's episode. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Masterful Coach Podcast. I've got some pretty exciting news, and that is that in just a few weeks, we will be hitting our 200th episode of the podcast. And what's really exciting about this is that we are going through a rebrand. The podcast is going to have a new name and a slightly different focus. Now, I'll still be speaking to you as coaches, but we're expanding to reach a broader audience. I'm here to speak to and teach those of you who are ambitious souls. You are purpose-driven humans who care deeply about growth, leadership, and meaningful impact. So we're going to talk about many of the same principles in terms of how they impact you and how to apply them even more personally. So I'll be sharing more about this very soon, and today's episode is actually a perfect segue into this change. Today, I'm talking with you about what is missing in the world right now and why the kind of emotional intelligence and nervous system support and transformational skill set we as coaches bring is more essential than ever. And that's really a big reason why I am switching the podcast, is that I believe that the things we teach and the way we're guiding people need to be more available to more people. So I'm thrilled about all of it and just cannot wait for the big reveal. Speaking of transformation and change and teaching, enrollment is now open for my coach certification and leadership program. So I know many of you are familiar with in-depth master coach training, but what you may not know is that I also offer a powerful certification designed to teach the core foundations of lasting change and the transformational coaching that is possible. So this program is much shorter than Master Coach Training. It is a 3-month program, and it isn't new. It ran last fall, but it is back and it is better than ever. So a little about this training. It's focused on a high impact experience where I train you in my signature 4 fundamentals of lasting change. We blend cognitive mastery, emotional work, nervous system support, and action-based strategies. And so whether you are an experienced coach who really wants to dive into my 4 fundamentals, or you are a high-level leader, someone who wants to just understand these fundamentals for yourself and those you are guiding. Or if you are a newer coach, you're feeling quietly called to coach but don't know where to start, this program is perfect for you. So if this sounds like what you're looking for, please see the show notes or go to mollyclaire.com. I am taking applications. We already have some fantastic people enrolled, and I cannot wait. All right, let's get started talking about what exactly the world is missing and what we can do about it. So let's first talk about what the world is not missing, and that is information. How many of you feel sometimes like we are in knowledge and information overload? This is the state of our world right now, right? AI, ChatGPT, and automation are providing answers faster than we can come up with questions, right? But what they can't offer is context, meaning, and human connection. So this is what I want to talk about first. While the world is flooded with knowledge and information, we are starving for wisdom. We are starving for depth. And this is a big problem in that because of the constant cognitive overload that we're experiencing, it can seem to us as though we should have enough. We should be satisfied. What's wrong with me that I'm not happy or that I don't have what I want if I have enough information, right? And think about this. If information alone was the key to achieving what we want, to feeling the way we want, to having the relationships that we want, then guess what? Right now, everyone on the planet would have the exact body that they want, the exact relationships that they want, the exact bank account they want. Everybody would feel at peace and be achieving all of their dreams because we do have the information, right? But the problem is that while we may be drowning in data, in a way we are dying of thirst when it comes to depth in our lives and integration, right? So information is there for us, but what we are missing in the world is transformation, which requires something more. It requires you as a coach. It requires you as a leader. It requires all of us to really show up as human beings and bring back the human element to this world. A quick stat to consider. Did you know that in 2023, a Deloitte study found that while 73% of people feel more informed than ever, only 22% feel emotionally supported in times of stress. This is the perfect example of the gap that exists. What a gap, right? And if we as leaders and as coaches who are helping people to improve their emotional connections, improve their relationship with self, improve their ability to regulate themselves during stress, what a gift. What a gift. Let's talk next a little about leadership. Leadership today needs to look radically different than it has in the past. Typically in the past, leadership models have been focused on strategy, metrics, productivity, and that's all fantastic, right? But what people are really needing, especially now, is more regulation, a greater sense of safety and community, and personal clarity and peace. Yes, in the leadership space, this is what we are needing. And one thing that I think many of us don't realize is that with the increase in information, I mean, truly, I use ChatGPT all the time, right? So I can go plug something in and I can get information. And it actually is very difficult for us to integrate that much information at once. So what this means is that as the information has increased, as we have more at our fingertips, that lends itself to us struggling more to actually feel more regulated because we are asking ourselves to move at a faster speed than any of us are used to. And so this is exactly why I focus so much on the nervous system, on regulation, and on emotion work, because it is a big deal. And without it, we're all just going to burn out, right? That's what's going to happen. So emotional intelligence, when it comes to leadership and all of these skills that I teach, they're no longer a bonus skill. It's really become the currency of leadership. Not to mention, it's required for all of our emotional well-being. According to Harvard Business Review, 90% of top performing leaders score high in emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence accounts for nearly 58% of job performance in leadership roles. Think about this. 58% of job performance is all about emotional intelligence. It is the thing that we need to learn and understand even more. And we need to understand it not just in terms of communicating with others, but in terms of actually understanding ourselves emotionally. That is one of the biggest things that I focus on with my clients. That is probably the most revolutionary work within the framework of the 4 fundamentals. And I can't even begin to tell you the difference that it makes. So in terms of leadership, I want you to think about leadership today like being the thermostat in the room. It's not just about responding to chaos, but it's actually more about regulating the temperature for others. Next, I want to talk a little bit about how most coaches and leaders are trained to do more of the surface level work. And by the way, this worked for a while, but it's just not enough anymore. Most coach training programs teach mindset or they teach strategy, but they leave out the body, the nervous system, and emotional process work. And understandably so. I think there's been a lot of confusion in where is the line between coaching and therapy. But the truth is that we are all human beings. We all have a nervous system and we are all dealing with emotions in every area of life. So when we don't address what's beneath the surface, changes are not going to stick. I can't say this enough times. Surface level work is not enough anymore. It's not enough for us and it's not enough for our clients. It's kind of like if we try to fix a leaky faucet without checking the pipes. You could see a short-term improvement, right? But if there's a root issue there, flooding is going to keep coming back. And this, of course, applies to us as coaches. This is exactly why I offer the trainings that I do. I mean, let's be honest, there is no shortage of coach training programs. But I'm going to say there is a drought when it comes to trainings that actually guide deep and lasting change. That is what is needed, and that is what we can all continue to learn and bring to the world. Research in behavior change consistently shows that sustainable results come from integration, not information. All right. Next, I want to talk to those of you who are listening and you are not a coach. You do not have to be a coach to learn these kind of skills. This is another reason why I am making the shift that I am with the podcast and why my coach certification and leadership program is perfect for people who aren't necessarily wanting to have a coaching business, but know that they need to understand these fundamentals. And honestly, many of the best coaches are not people who planned on being coaches. I didn't even know what a coach was not too many years ago, right? I've been in this business now a little over a decade. I had no idea what it was. And yet, when I found it, I knew it was the exact work that I was meant to do. Those of you listening that maybe you're a teacher, a therapist, a healer, or an entrepreneur, or maybe you just find that you're simply the go-to person for others. Most likely you naturally have some of the raw materials that with some better training and with some guidance, those abilities that you have can really come up in a more expanded way and can be used in different ways. It's really, really powerful. Not to mention that truly the skills of creating lasting change and the inner transformation that my clients experience really should be available to everyone. We are in a unique time and place. What would have been achievement and success before is no longer satisfying us. Have you noticed this? You notice this all around us. And it's not just because we're ungrateful, but as more of us have more material needs met, we as human beings are answering the call for our emotional and spiritual needs to be met, for the growth to happen that we know is there and available within us. We are asking for more from life, from ourselves, and from our relationships. And we as coaches and leaders can be the ones to lead all of this up. Coaching and this deep personal work, whether you're a coach or not, truly isn't about having the perfect life or checking all the boxes. It's really about being able to go through the process of transformation and growth. And for coaches, it's about being trained to guide others through that process. We as coaches can bring the heart. We can teach how integration of all the things we know we want can actually happen. As we're getting close to the end of this episode, I hope you are feeling inspired and optimistic about the change that is possible. The fact that we have so much information is exciting. And the fact that this gap exists between where people are and where they want to be, or where people are in relation to the information or knowledge that they have, is also exciting. Because when we see that visible gap, and you can be the person to learn and understand how to help people fill that gap, that is a beautiful and magical thing. So before we finish up, I want to speak directly to those of you that are here and have either considered becoming a coach, or you are a coach and you know there's more to learn and you're excited about understanding more about emotional connection and the nervous system and how this deep transformation works. Or if you're someone who's just here and this episode is really calling to you, this is what I want you to know. You might be the exact kind of person the world is waiting for. We are in a moment of global transition, huge transformations happening all around us. People are seeking purpose. They're seeking support and guidance, and they're really wanting to reconnect with who they are and what matters and have the quality of life that they feel somewhere inside of them is possible. So if you have felt called to lead, if you have felt called to do more coaching or to change your coaching, to help others or to grow, this may be your moment. The world does not need any more seemingly perfect people, right? What the world needs is authenticity. What the world needs is healing, kindness, connection. The world needs us to understand how to support one another in growing into the best version of ourselves. All right, coaches, that's what I've got for you, or soon to be coaches. If you are excited about the idea of diving more into this, please go ahead and go to mollyclaire.com or click in the show notes and apply for coach certification and leadership training that is coming up this fall. It is going to be phenomenal. We cover the 4 fundamentals of lasting change. We help you apply it to you. We help you apply it to your team. We help you whether you are starting out with your coaching business or whether you are a top coach and you know there is more you want to add to your skill set. All right, coaches, I will talk with you next week. We have a fantastic episode planned, and I cannot wait to reveal the big rebrand in a couple of weeks. I'll talk with you soon. That's it for today's episode of the Masterful Coach Podcast. If you found this valuable, make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you take a moment to leave a review, I would truly appreciate it. It helps more coaches and leaders find this podcast so they can grow right alongside us. Make sure to check out www.mollyclaire.com for the latest offerings in advanced trainings and coaching mastery. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk with you next week.